Howdy everyone, Poultry here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we're going to do a quick overview of the Marlena event that has started. It is completely different to what we've seen in the past when these boss events come around. Completely changed the structure. There is no milestones for these events anymore. There are still milestones, but they're not connected to the event itself. So we have to take on a new strategy. There's a new resource. Well, there's two new resources. So again, that's going to play a part in how you take on the event. It's early days. Things may change. If it does, we'll change the video as well. But for now, I'm going to tell you my plan on how to tackle this and what I am hoping to achieve at the end of it. We've got 3 months. By the looks of it, it's non-stop. It's not for 2 weeks at the start of every month. It's the full 3 months. We'll throw some numbers out there as well that we figured out. Again, it could change. Who knows? This is brand news. First people on the moon. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to note is that there's 4 stages. There's the debut, the Order's turn, the Guardian's turn, and the Spawn's turn. The debut is pretty much unlocking the other 3. Once you do that, from what I gather, there's nothing really much left to do in debut. If you are able to clear it, which is going to be difficult, but most of the nodes you're given the characters for, you unlock the main 3, and this is where you'll be doing the majority of your farming for the next 3 months. Each one of the 3 requires a different faction. The Order's turn is the Crimson Order, the Guardian's turn is the Guardians, and the Spawn's turn is the Chaos Spawn. And the restrictions on equipment is the highest we've ever seen. To take on the last node, you do need, if we can click on it and press the information, you can see I don't even have the required heroes to clear this. You need a minimum equipment level of 14 to take on the very last node. But you don't necessarily need the last node to be able to farm through this event. But yeah, it's crazy requirements to be able to complete. And the boss at the end, to be honest, I don't know if you'd be able to kill it with anything lower. They are extremely hard and require specific turn orders and how you use your abilities to take them on. We'll cover bosses in the video as well. The next important part to take note of is that there are 2 currencies within the event. So if we click on a node, there is the ruler sigil and the ruler sigil fragments. Both of them are important. Again, it depends on how you plan to take on this event. Depends on how you spend it. There's only really one way to spend the ruler sigil, but as for the fragments, there is the opportunity to purchase the bosses of other important factions. I think the only one available to me is the Lucius, because I have the other ones, but I was talking to Sus last night, and he said that he had, Sid available to him. So I think if you don't have them unlocked, they will be available to you. And by purchasing that hero, you will be able to get a full 325 shards, I believe. If we go out of this really quickly and we click on the market, it's really confusing how they've done this one. Let me exchange all my tokens. Ruler Madness, if we go to the end, as you can see, I've got Lucius available for 15,000 fragment shards. And if I click on him, as you can see, 325 shards. It would completely unlock him. The only criticism I have about this is it's a shame you have to purchase all 325 and you can't get a discount if you've already unlocked some of the stars. That would be nice. But as you can see, it is purchasable to get one of these characters. Apart from that, you can also change the fragments into a full token. It's 100 per one, I believe it is. As you can see, I can get 5 here if I wanted to. Actually, I've got 1,100. I'm actually going to save them for now. The reason I'm going to save them is because there's 3 months this event is going for. I don't know where my resources are going to go at the moment. I don't know how many resources I'm going to get, whether I'm going to be able to complete the Marlena herself. So I'm in absolutely zero rush to spend things. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be patient. The only things I am spending are the sigils themselves. And my strategy for this is pretty simple. Starting from left, going to right. I am starting with the shards for her. Then I will move on to the arcane stars, and then I will move on to the medallions. However, what I have noticed from the medallion pools is that the resources you get from this, the medallion itself is quite rare, but the resources for boosting medallions, they're quite decent. So if you are a player and you are in no way interested in actually unlocking Marlena, I would not recommend avoiding her. I would at least get her, because who knows how these characters are going to return. Again, it's a whole new system, so the information for the future is invisible. We have no idea what's going to happen. But if for some reason you are saying to yourself, I have absolutely zero interest in Marlena, then I would recommend using the sigils on the medallion chest, because the resources, as I said, are quite plentiful, and they're going to help you boost up a medallion. I'm sure you could get a few, maybe to level 80. It depends how much you are farming. And yeah, I don't want to actually spend the 5 to open and show you, because I have OCD and I have this superstition that I always get the best pulls when I do 10 at a time, so I'm saving for 10. Okay, if I had 10 I would open it. Playcod, if you want to send me 10 so I can do a test open for the community, by all means send them my way. I'll open them up. But yeah, if you are going to go through this and you are looking for the best way, yes, start with the basic, the foundation, the shards, move on to the arcane stars, move on to the medallion. The Marlena event itself, though, is quite difficult. So we did some math last night. I think you are getting roughly 20 energy a day from this event. If you're keeping on top of it, you're not letting it cap, you're getting about 20 energy. We calculated that if you are purchasing 1 energy refresh a day, which is 200 gold, it's quite expensive, but there are several ways, especially if you're an Android user, to get gold these days through the Otherworldly event, for example. So if you are purchasing the 200 gold refresh, and I understand that isn't really free to play territory, I'm just telling you what we were looking at last night. At the end of the 3 months, you are most likely going to end up at about 27,000 fragment seals. Okay, it seems that the drop on the seals themselves are sporadic, but the sigil fragments do drop 100% of the time. So you're looking at about 27,000. So that is going to be more than enough for your whichever of the leaders you pick to unlock, if they're available to you, and you'll have some spare. But like I said, there is zero rush for you to purchase these things. So just wait. We've got 3 months to figure it out. Now, the bosses themselves, starting in the order's turn, you're facing the Luxuria to begin with. Very difficult boss. I'm just going to give you my tips and tricks from what I've seen so far. These aren't the absolute best ways. People will probably discover better ways as time goes on. But as for right now, the Luxuria is a very interesting hero. It's difficult to 3-star this node. The reason for that is because if she's hit with a merely physical attack, she will one-shot that character. And you're using the Crimson Order, so you want to remove Maria from the team if you're looking for a 3-star win. If you just want to pass the node, throw Maria in there. You can use Felix, you can use Lucius. However, there is a catch to this. Felix, you're only really using his basic attack to do damage, and there's one other ability that doesn't do any damage, I believe. You want to use that. There is one of his specials that does deal damage, and that will kill him. With Lucius, you're wanting to use his second ability. His basic, and his third ability will kill him. So your characters need to be fairly geared themselves just to be able to kill this character by the time Lucius gets his second turn. Because if Lucius has to have his second turn, he's forced to use one of his merely physical attacks, and it will kill him. You will not 3-star this node. As for the boss of this round, you have the Better Days. You have the Void Gunner and the Devourer. I have not personally taken on this fight. I do know there is a trick to this. However, I cannot remember off the top of my head. We'll have to do a video. If anyone knows it, by all means let me know. But I do remember that the Devourer cannot be damaged. No, it's the Void Gunner. The Void Gunner cannot be damaged, and the Devourer has to be killed first and then move on to the Void Gunner. So it's a very, very tricky fight. It has to do with using Mari as basic, I believe, because it can do damage depending on the health of the enemy, so you can get a lot of damage through that. Again, not tested properly, but yeah, there is a trick to this. If I find it out, I'll post it on my Discord server. If you have the information or you have a video of winning this node. Actually, if you have a video of winning any of the nodes shown in this video, send it to me. I'd love to put them together and just give people an idea. Because if you fail on these nodes, you use that energy, and the energy is very valuable. So if I can get people to get these wins first time, I know that people are rushing through this already. They're probably failing, but I mean, the information is going to be beautiful. Guardian's turn, very interesting. We have the Felicia. This is just a speed. You have to just try and kill her as fast as possible, because she will put the mutagenic spore or ulcer on your characters, and the moment your character has a turn, he will turn into a void. What are they called? The little mutated thing. Very dangerous boss. You just need to kill her. With this character, you're using your goos, and for the most part, people have really invested in their goos because they need them for nightmare raiding. They've been a good PvP team for a long time. They're one of those factions that just people have the heroes built up. So this shouldn't be a super hard fight, unless, of course, you're a newish player. And then I understand this event is a very late game. I apologize that this information may not be suitable for you, but these fights are they're just intense gear intensive. Is that the word I need? You need the gear. You need the gear, you need the arcane stars, you need the level, you just need power to get through these. And there is a little bit of strategy thrown in there. The last node is the Librarian. The Librarian is a beautiful fight. Beautiful fight. Now, for me, I was just able to one-shot him with my Ciri because she is absolutely beefed up. She is one of my strongest heroes. There is a trick to this fight, however, and that is not putting Omphis in the leader slot. The reason for this is because if you put Omphis in the leader slot, he will apply a shield to your goos. And when Librarian gets his turn, he will use his bomb. His bomb will deal guaranteed critical damage if you have shield applied, and it just one-shots your whole team. So you're either going to have a really, really strong Ciri, or take the Omphis out and try and pass the node that way. Either way, he's very strong. If he gets his attack off, and then he also gets the passive bomb off, he's going to clear your whole team. So again, it's a gear-intensive fight. You're trying to kill him as fast as possible, but you can survive the first bomb if you don't have any shields and your characters are at the minimum requirement, which is gear level 14. Moving into the final one, we have the Chaos Spawn. Again, the Chaos Spawn is one I cannot complete because I've, since the beginning, hated the Chaos Spawn. I refused to build them. I didn't want to fall into that, using the best PvP team in the game, because it just irked me. So I never built them, and now it's biting me in the ass. But we have two nodes here. We have the Warris. Now, Warris is a very interesting hero. You want to try and not apply debuffs to him. It's very hard with the Chaos Spawn. They do apply a lot of debuffs, but remember, when Warris has a debuff applied to him, his turn comes around, he gets 10% initiative per debuff. So if you just rail him up with debuffs, he's just going to get turned. He's going to wipe your whole team. So that's the trick with the Warris. Keep away from the debuffs and just try and kill him that way. With the Raymond, I don't know specifically how to beat him. My suggestion would have been not using a Ked, because the Raymond heals every time you heal, and a Ked heals every single turn he takes, so it's a lot of healing. But Burnt Tricks has released a video. Feel free to watch that. He uses Sid and a Ked solely, no other characters, and he does win the fight. Now, I'm not sure what the gear or the medallion stats are that he is using, but it seems to work for him, so that might be a way. But my suggestion would have been avoiding the Aked so the healing's not pumping up that Raymond. You do not want to use abilities that debuff this character. I believe if he gets to 3 or 4 stacks, he just kills everyone on your team. So there is a little trick you can use in this fight if you know that your character can apply a single debuff. So for example, Ghoul, his basic attack has a chance of applying a debuff. The fight goes on for a long time, and that stack can reach the max, which will trigger Raymond's passive and kill you. But if you save Sid's third ability can clear debuffs off the enemy. So if you find yourself in a position where you're getting really close to the debuffs stacking up on this character, use Sid's third, it will clear the board from debuffs on the enemy, and you can just keep going about your business. But out of all the fights, I think the Raiment is the hardest one. It is very, very insane what this character can do. I wish I could take on the node to show you, because it's insane. It's insane. But it's a very interesting event. Again, it's brand new. I don't know how this is going to play out with day 2 of it. So just keep using your energy, keep farming the nodes you can. Just be aware that there are some nodes, like if I click on the Walrus, I can no longer earn the max medallion, the full sigil from them anymore. There are some nodes that have caps on it if you can only earn 10 of the full sigils. So once you've cleared them and you've got that, just farm the highest node you can. That's not a boss node, and you'll get your currency through that. I've got 2 energy at the moment. Again, I'm just going to wait till I can do a full 5 before I do anything. I wouldn't recommend it. Honestly, if you come into this event, you got 1, 2, 3 energy, just spend it so it doesn't cap. It's very valuable energy, and I think it restores every 2.5 hours. So if you go into sleep or something, who knows? You might accidentally cap it, and I just don't want you wasting those resources. But there we go. We talked a lot about this event. Lots of information probably still to come. I just wanted to quickly go over it, help people a little bit if I could, but yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability, and wherever you're on the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.